Hello, I'm Dave, and thank you for coming back for another installment of Show Me Your Winner, an opportunity to collab with the industry's best and brightest. And I'm super excited today for this segment specifically. It's my man that I've worked with for almost 2 years now, one of the longest lasting guys in our crew that we've basically cashed ever since we met, and that's what we're about to do. He's got some Olympic golf action. Go check that. Mike, show us your winner.
Oh, Dave, thanks for bringing me on here and getting excited to be a part of what you're doing here and what you're building. I see what these guys are doing on the regular basis, and I'm humbled and honored to be a part of it. So let's talk some golf. This is my favorite competition, supporting your country, being a nationalist and getting excited about these opportunities. Only come around once every 4 years, and this one happens to be golf. Golf had about 125-year hiatus from Olympic play. Now in their third go-round. They had the Zika down there in Brazil. That was a big competition, yielding a Justin Rose winner. Then they roll out to Japan, and Xander Schauffele gets the dub. And now here we are in France. And this is going to be a lot of fun because this is a track that's kind of gone through some significant changes. 3 keys for this change here. Driving accuracy, going to be super important. The ability to approach the green. Getting that green connection and being able to get close with that grind and pound type of game out there. And then, of course, putting. We look at this track and some of the history. Back in 2018, it held the Ryder Cup, and it was just a scene of the crime. The Europeans busted up the Americans in one of the worst defeats in Ryder Cup history. And a lot of that had to do with the way that course was set up. They had no first and second cuts in the rough. The captains of the European team decided to just make that rough grow out 4 inches plus, and it wreaked havoc on the Americans. They've gone back this year. 2 things that they made changes on. 1, they started aerating the greens more, adding more sand. That's important because that's going to play a part on these green complexes. And, some of these guys that have struggled with their approach to the green game might find a little bit of a benefit in the fact that they did stop that twice-a-year aeration, albeit they have come back now. So that should kind of nullify some of these guys that I'm going to talk about and some of the challenges they've had on the PGA or LIV tours this year. But let's get into it. There's 4 matchups that I want to talk about with overall golf performance here. The way this Olympics is set up, just like a regular golf tournament with a couple exceptions. There's only 60 players in the field. Risk reward, it pays to take a shot with some of these dogs. Also, they go top 3 finishes, gold, silver, and bronze. No cuts being made either. So big opportunities out here. Smaller field, no cuts being made. I looked at 4 matchups for this thing here. Let's start with the big names. I'm looking at Jon Rahm. I took Jon Rahm to win over Rory McIlroy. It's a 4-round event here. So I'm looking at full tournament matchups. Jon Rahm to beat out Rory McIlroy's score. Rory McIlroy's had some things going on in his personal life as of late. Some issues where there was this conversation about divorcing his wife. Then they canceled and said, just kidding. Is he or is he not hooking up with Amanda Balionis? And there's a lot of factors that have plagued this guy off the field, which have translated to poor performance on the field. He missed the cut in the most recent British Open. Very disappointing finish for this guy out there. He did tie for 3rd place in the Tokyo Olympics. So certainly can come out there and perform when push comes to shove. But I don't believe he's got the option this year. I think Jon Rahm, the Spaniard, ready to go out there and going to put boots to ass at a -115 price. It's basically a coin flip for these 2 guys. And I want Jon Rahm to get this victory outright over Rory McIlroy. The next matchup I looked at, I'm going to the Frenchie. I'm going to Matthew Pavin over Ryan Fox. Again, this is a +115 spot out there. Pavin, a French golfer. They're playing in France. I believe the advantage comes to this guy. Most recently, first PGA Tour victory this year in the Farmers Insurance Open. He had a 3rd place finish the following week at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. What's important about that? It wasn't a fluke that he got that PGA win. He goes on to the Masters. He finishes tied for 12th place. Top 5 finish at the U.S. Open. His game's just getting better. And on the other side of things here, we see that this Ryan Fox guy kind of ranked somewhere around that top 25, kind of middle of the field. He did have a top 4 finish in Myrtle Beach, a top 7 in Canada, but 25th last week at Royal Troon. Kind of some bumps in the way for this guy. He did win the BMW championship last year. That was a huge victory for this guy to kind of get him on the map. But at +115, I'm going to take the Frenchman and the home court advantage, home field advantage. 3rd matchup I'm looking at, Jay Day. I'm going Jay Day over Thomas Dietrich. J-Day, 7th in the PGA in strokes gained putting this year. Super huge. We talked about this on the onset with the green complexes, and the key to victory here is going to be navigating some of these tighter, undulating greens. When we look at this guy's overall performance, 147th in stroke gained, and I believe we're catching him at a reasonable price. He's plus 100 to go out there and beat Dietrich. Now, Dietrich, very similar to the Fox situation out there, kind of sitting in that top 25. He had a top 4 finish at the PGA Championship a year ago. Certainly tied for 26 at the Scottish Open, but I don't believe that Belgium has what it takes to go out there. J-Day is just a sneaky Australian, finds a way to cash victories when they come his way, and certainly can do that. And I'm looking at Abe Answer over Ortiz. This is the Battle of Mexico. Mexico only allowed 2 qualifiers for the Olympics this year. Both these guys are live contenders, but I want Abraham Answer minus 115 over Ortiz. Why? Because he hits the fairways. Number 1 on the live tour in hitting fairways. Not a big top 10 type of finish guy, so I think the price is down. He finished top 58 at the Open, so certainly doesn't have all the tools firing at the right time, but I think if anybody gets hot, this guy and his ability to navigate these fairways is huge. This will be fun, though, because on the other side of things, the countryman out of Mexico, certainly a winner in his own right out there. Live Championship 2024, gets himself out there at the Hong Kong circuit, gold medal at the 2023 Pan American Games in Santiago, Chile. But I like myself a little Abe Answer. This guy's just got the pedigree. He's got the big moments, and he's been in those big moments plenty of times. Dave, I parlayed all 4 of those together as well. It's plus 1,100, a little 11 to 1 to take those full 4-round matchups. And I'm going to give you guys a little bonus spot too here. I got a top 20 parlay finish for this Olympic qualifier, this Olympic tournament here. Look, I talked about J-Day. I'm going to throw J-Day into the equation here because it's a 60-person field. That means a top 20 parlay. These guys just have to come in the top third of the field. I'm looking at Tommy Fleetwood. Fleetwood's been a run and gunner. And, from a performance as of late, kind of didn't have all the tools at the British Open. He was a big favorite out there, but he's won on this surface before. He won the 2017 France Open, and this course is going to be set up very similar for him to go out there and strike. He's priced at 20 to 1 to win the tournament. I certainly like that look as well. I think he's a contender for first-round leader. But I got him as the second leg, the third and last but not least here. Going to go to a name that maybe not a lot of folks are familiar with here. I got to go to the Italian. I got a little Migliozzi. This guy here, Italy, won the French Open 2 years ago. Got himself a KLM Open Championship late June. He's been regaining momentum. He did have 2 straight missed cuts, but then in Troon, most recent performance, he finished top 31. This guy to come in the top 20 as well. Fleetwood, J-Day, Migliozzi, plus 550. All 3 of those guys have to finish in the top 20. That's going to be how we're getting paid here with the Olympics. Let's have some fun. Let's do it for country. And let's do it for our bankrolls, Dave. Appreciate you having me.
You're more than welcome. So you guys came here for 1 play. He gave out 5, 6 plays if you count parlaying all the first 4. And this is what he does. I want Mike to give Mike the floor here to talk about sports money. He just gives out so much winning information. If you don't know, you better know. Mike, what's going on at Sports Money?
Oh, appreciate it, Dave. We're doing all kinds of things. You guys know the big deal on Saturdays. The best live stream around. We're rocking the UFC. We hit all sports. Dave's a regular. And we appreciate having him there as well. We got all kinds of things happening with Sports Money. Really growing. Things are popping all over the place. We got a ton of great cappers out there giving themselves big runs, 9-0s, 10-0s, sweeps with First Strike for UFC content, becoming the preeminent source for your early fight action, beating line movement all over the place as well. And we're just getting more and more excited about what's happening. We got big seasons coming up. I know we talked about this backstage. NFL, college football, basketball, NHL. We're just getting started, Dave, and appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come out here today.
Thanks so much, Mike. For everyone that doesn't know, that wants to know, I'll put all Mike's information down below where you can find him, personal Twitter, and also his YouTube, which is Sports Money. And thanks again, guys. Best of luck. Let's go get them.